Welcome to Deansgate in Manchester, the scene for the BT Great City Games, Manchester 2014. 10 events on the track, along with 2 field events in the shadow of Manchester Town Hall in Albert Square. Johan Blake's attempt at the world 150-metre record sure to be the highlight of the day. Commentary comes from John Rawling, but first it's Ronald McIntosh with the early stages of the long jump.
Greg Rutherford, the competition leader, on the runway in this long jump in Albert Square. 7.78, his leading mark from the opening round, and the Olympic champion, the British champion, appears to be around a similar mark. Phlegmatic expression on Rutherford's face as he leaves the pit once more. By all accounts, he and Chris Tomlinson have had a meeting and not a discussion, but just cleared the air. Better on the board on that jump than he was in the opening round, where he set the leading mark. His round 2 effort has improved. 7.98, approaching the 8-metre mark. Rutherford extends his lead. So round 2 of the men's long jump. Christopher Tomlinson trying to reel in the lead of 7.98, set by his great rival. Characteristic lean to the side that is been a constant feature of Tomlinson's jumping. Appeared to be pretty good on the board, hanging in the air. Gave away just a marginal amount, but 7.98 is the leading mark from Rutherford in round 2. It's an improvement for Tomlinson. 7.77 in second place, still trailing Rutherford.
The women's 100 metres hurdles. Terrific battle possibly in store here. Tiffany Porter in form, the British athlete, starting in lane 2. Olympic bronze medalist Kelly Wells of the United States up alongside her in lane 1. And Dawn Harper-Nelson of the US, also an outstanding athlete. Good start from Porter, and she heads Wells to the first hurdle. Going well on the near side as well, Solomon, and there's a faller in lane 3. It's Dawn Harper-Nelson, but it's Porter who's coming away, and she's going to win this one. The British athlete sprinting beautifully, 12.66, and that is a games record, and unofficially her best time of the season. Excellent hurdling from Tiffany Porter, showing that here in May 2014 she is absolutely bang in form, and she's beaten some good athletes there, and mercifully Dawn Harper-Nelson is up on her feet, and hopefully no lasting damage as a result of a rather dramatic tumble.
It was indeed a dramatic tumble, but you just have to wonder how much pressure was she placed under because of the blistering start by Tiffany Porter. Got out very well indeed, but the Beijing Olympic champion crashing to the makeshift track here on Deansgate.
12.65, games record, ahead of Kelly Wells, also hurdling well to take second. Sarita Solomon, second British athlete, back in third place, and Dawn Harper-Nelson, the faller.
It was really important for me to come out here and execute. I've never won here before, so I wanted to change that this year, and I'm happy I was able to come away with the win against such talented ladies.
Alex Alamine, Lawrence Clark, Andy Turner and David King, 4 Brits in the lineup in this men's 110 hurdles race. Turner well, very well indeed, and he's first to rise, and also David King going well on this near side. Lawrence Clark now beginning to show good form, but Turner fighting back off the last hurdle. It's going to be a dash for the line, and it is Clark who gets there first. Turner second. 13.52 is where the clock stops. All smiles between 2 of the leading Brits.
Well, Turner didn't get the greatest of starts. David King in lane 4, closest to us, was fastest away, but you see by halfway, Lawrence Clark had hit the front. Turner struggling, straining to try to get back on terms, but Clark keeping his form well, hurdling well, and on the dip, he wins it. And Andy Turner, the local lad, the favourite for this one, he's going to be a little bit disappointed to have been just edged out there. Great reception from the crowd, fabulous conditions, and good hurdling from Lawrence Clark.
So Lawrence Clark confirmed as the victor, 13.51, a season's best. 13.55, Andy Turner hot on his heels, but Lawrence Clark putting that injury-riddled 2013 behind him and already rounding back into the type of form he demonstrated in 2012. Well, the women's pole vault got underway earlier on in the City Games competition. Began in glorious conditions, and it was Nicoleta Kyriakopoulou of Greece, the winner of the Doha Diamond League, who ultimately took the competition with a second attempt clearance at 4 meters 40. That would be the best of the afternoon. Christina Gatchieff of Germany also attempted 4 meters 40. This, though, was her third attempt, and the German would also go clear. So on the short runway, right next to the fans here in Manchester, the bar was raised to 4 meters 50. This is the second attempt for Kyriakopoulou, but having come off the Diamond League victory last week, calamitous scenes. Always a problem with the pole vault, a significant hand injury there as the pole just shattered on approach, and then the plant into the box. And that fiberglass pole giving way when she was fully committed to the vault. So a hand injury was sustained. That was the end of Kyriakopoulou's competition. And we hope that it doesn't curtail her season too much, having started in such good form, taking that Diamond League victory in the opening event of the season. Gatchieff attempted 450 to try and take victory outright, a third-time failure. So it is Kyriakopoulou who takes victory. The top two athletes clearing 4 meters 40, but a cleaner record up to that point for the Greek athlete. And she takes it in first place, but having suffered a hand injury when attempting 440. Spiegelberg, fourth place Olympic finisher, didn't start.
It is very warm down here on Deansgate, and this could be a hot 100 metres. The indoor world champion Richard Kilty for Great Britain looking to go around about the 10-second mark, maybe faster. Trell Kimmins is a sub-10-second man, and this could be a battle royal. Good start by Kilty, very well out of the blocks, and on the near side Ujah also, and this is close. There's nothing between them at halfway stage. Ogunode on the far side, and on the near side Ujah with winning time 10.11, and that is a surprise win. Look at his face, he can hardly believe it.
It was a blistering start. We were expecting the action to come from lane 2 in particular. Richard Kilty, hot off his outdoor form and that world indoor title, but look at the form being demonstrated by Ogunode on the inside. Clear daylight between himself and the rest of the field. And what about the young Ujah from Great Britain, just 20 years of age, and he has got himself a couple of notable scalps, the 20-year-old.
Femi Ogunode absolutely delighted as well. He might be by 0.04 of a second from a new emerging British talent in Chijindu Ujah, 10.14, and Richard Kilty having to settle for third. The men's 100 metres, Ronald Hertog of the Netherlands in lane 2 could be the man to beat. Paul Peterseon of the United States, also a very good sprinter. He's drawn alongside him in lane 3. So here we go, and Hertog gets a good start. Peterseon, though, explodes out of the blocks, and that's a tremendous piece of sprinting, and he's already well clear of this field. Paul Peterseon and the fast finishing Hertog closing the gap, but Peterseon holding on and winning impressively. Unofficially 11.47 seconds. He loves it. Result confirmed at 11.47 for Paul Peterseon, ahead of the Dutchman Ronald Hertog. Good sprinting. Marlou van Rhijn of the Netherlands, they call her the Blade Babe. She's in lane 3, and on paper Laura Sugar, Iris Bryson, Sophie Camlish against her. But this should be about Van Rhijn. Van Rhijn not particularly well away. Sophie Camlish taking an early lead on this near side. Laura Sugar on the far side. But look at Van Rhijn now, powering through. Brilliant sprinting from the Dutch athlete. And she crosses the line in 13.39 seconds. Marlou van Rhijn going superbly. 13.4, a games record. That's been confirmed ahead of Laura Sugar and Sophie Camlish.
So the next event on the track is the men's T44 200 meters. It's an IPC race, and the T44 classification is for single below-the-knee amputees or a physical disability resulting in similar movement patterns. As we see Jared Wallace settling into his blocks. But could that mark be under threat this afternoon? Perfect conditions here in Manchester. And a good clean start up into his running straight away. On the inside is David Prince, Felix Streng also going well, but Jared Wallace streaking away from the rest of this field now. And it is Wallace. Streng fighting hard to try and close the distance, but Wallace still has the advantage and he's holding his form. But Streng closing down, coming neck to neck now, neck and neck now. Who is going to dip first on the line? Streng is the stronger, and he takes first place from Jared Wallace, who got a blistering start, and it is a new world best time, 22.40 seconds. The world best, the championship best, absolutely obliterated by the young German, 19 years of age, and he has transferred his junior credentials where he took that sprint double in the 100 and 200 meters to the senior ranks with an absolutely blistering performance over the straightaway 200 meters.
Well, Jared Wallace on paper, the man to beat in the black vest in lane 3. He got a terrific start. He was the champion from 2013 of those IPC World Championships in Lyon, and at this stage he looked as though he was just about home and dry. But look at Streng alongside him, closing the gap now with every stride. David Prince well beaten on the far side, Wallace tying up, and the momentum of Streng carrying him home, and a tremendous sprinting performance from the 19-year-old German. He's going to be very, very happy with that.
So confirmation of a new world best time over the 200 meter straight from Felix Streng, 22.40 seconds. The previous time of 23.11 by David Prince, absolutely shattered.
The rarely run women's 200 metres hurdles. Hayley Child, the British favourite here. Also the World Championship silver medalist at 400 metres. Dalila Muhammad. She'll be starting in lane 3. 10 flights of hurdles, each at 2'6". Child getting out of her blocks well, and she's the first to rise in lane 2. Also on the outside, Rosolova of the Czech Republic, and on the inside now improving is Meghan Beesley, who's really running a terrific second phase of the race. It's between her and Rosolova. It's going to be close as they're coming up towards the line, but Rosolova losing a form, and Beesley has the advantage as they come now towards the final stages of the race, and a commanding victory for Meghan Beesley in a time of 25.05. And that is a world best that's been given, a CityGames record. It's not run very often, but it's never been run better than that in the straight line. Meghan Beesley, the Birchfield Harrier, and she absolutely loved the moment.
So many established big-name athletes around her, but Meghan Beesley did not fear their reputation and held it together terrifically. Rosolova got away with her well as well. I was interested to see how she went after falling during the World Indoor Championships in Sopot, but perhaps her lack of race fitness, that was her last outing. But Beesley held her form magnificently. Making a late charge was Mohammed. but they were of no concern to Beesley, who was away and clear, and all she had in front of her was daylight and the hurdles. Mohammed continued to close well, but look at the distance between Beesley and the rest of the field to post a world best time with an emphatic victory over some world-class athletes.
Meghan Beesley is going to take huge confidence from that for the rest of the season. Terrific early season form, and look at the margin of victory, nearly 0.8 of a second ahead of Ailey Child. Denisa Rasolova taking third.
I can't believe it. I was hoping for a 25 high, never jumped over in 25 flat, so really happy with that one.
And Ailey as well, you saw PB come up there alongside your name.
Yeah, it's quite nice, it's good fun, but Meghan was gone. I was like, oh, I'm trying to just catch her the whole way, but a really good run.
So the rarely run men's 200-meter hurdles is the next event on the track. Andy Turner produced the Games record and a national best in this event in 2011. And here's the lineup: Sebastian Roger of Great Britain, Felix Sanchez, reigning Olympic champion over 400-meter hurdles, Andy Turner, and Leaford Green of Jamaica. So who will be first to rise? It appears to be Sanchez and Roger, who are going very well at the moment. Roger on the inside, Sanchez in lane 2, but now Turner beginning to make his move and has run down the 400-meter Olympic champion. Clear daylight between him and the quarter-miler hurdler. Andy Turner going well, but now Sanchez fighting back, looking for his first victory on the Manchester track. On the dip, Turner takes it. Sanchez comes away with second. And that was a time of 22.60 seconds. Sanchez got away very well indeed. Warm embrace between him and Andy Turner. And we just see Turner reaching down, holding that left leg. We hope it's nothing serious. Remember, he was coming off Achilles surgery last year, but a victory for the Nottingham man.
Well, what a battle. And Felix Sanchez, the 36-year-old from the Dominican Republic, got the better start in lane 2, but then Turner started to come back at him. Remember, he's the specialist 110-meter high hurdler, and at this stage you can see probably a metre or so clear of Sanchez. Sanchez here on his 5th visit to the City of Manchester Games, looking for victory at last, and he was coming back in the last few metres as he was straining to get up alongside Andy Turner, but couldn't quite make it, and Turner taking victory.
So confirmation of the result. Andy Turner, 22.58 seconds ahead of Felix Sanchez in what was a terrific battle.
I love the 200 hurdles. I love it more than the 110s. If the 200 hurdles was an Olympic event, you wouldn't see me on the 110s anymore. I love this.
So into the 4th and final round of this long jump competition. Greg Rutherford, the Olympic champion, with his familiar pre-jump routine. Off he goes down the runway, looking to breach 8 meters. That could well threaten the 8-meter mark. Such an experienced jumper now. His talent was always apparent. Terrific speed as well, a 10.26 second 100-meter man. And uses that speed tremendously well. And he's done it. 8 meters and 2 centimeters. Rutherford remains in first place. Rutherford's competition has concluded. This, the 4th and final attempt for his predecessor as Olympic champion, Irving Saladino. He's improved each round, and that could well be close to the 8-meter mark. Really is such a beautiful athlete to watch when he's in full flight. He's not convinced about the distance. Excellence on the board once again. Well, 793, Saladino has improved every round of the competition. 2nd place for the Panamanian. 793, his best effort. He moves into 2nd place. So Tomlinson, currently in 3rd, Just seen a marker set by Saladino. 8:02 is the leading mark from his great rival, Greg Rutherford. And no, that's not going to trouble it. Holds his head in anguish, does Chris Tomlinson, because he knows that it's not going to be enough to threaten a lead. So here is the result of the men's long jump competition. 8.02. Greg Rutherford taking victory with his fourth round effort. Irving Saladino in second place, 7.93, his best in the fourth round. Tomlinson in third, 7.77, his best effort, just ahead of Geyser of the Netherlands.
I got all my safety jumps out there. I made sure I was right on the back edge of the board and just got what I needed to get done to win. So coming to an event like this, it's more about having a lot of fun and interacting with the crowd and everything else. So we did all that. We had a great time out there.
So 4 athletes taking to the Deansgate track in the women's 200 metres, including one of the greatest British athletes of all time, Christine Ohuruogu in lane 2. Christine Day, lane 1 for Jamaica, Shana Cox, and Stacey-Ann Smith, the other athlete. So a good clean start. Shana Cox away very well indeed. Also going well on the inside is Day. But look at this in lane 4. It is Smith who is blazing away. Cox fighting hard and pulled up in lane 1 is a Jamaican athlete, but Shana Cox sprinting away. Ohuruogu maintaining her form and fighting hard, but Shana Cox pulling away from the rest of the field. She takes it. Smith in second, Ohuruogu in third, and pulling up was Christine Day, the Jamaican, not finishing the race. 23.29 the time. Shana Cox, sprint speed, taking an emphatic win.
Stacey-Ann Smith getting a decent start in lane 4. Ohuruogu looking some way short of her very best and always labouring. And at this stage you see Christine Day, the Jamaican, in lane 1 pull up. Hopefully no long-term injury there. And Smith closest to us, starting to strain as Shana Cox maintains her form beautifully in the latter stages of this 200 metres, and she comes well clear in the end. Ohuruogu making no sort of impact and finishing back in third place, and an emphatic win for Britain's Shana Cox.
My coach and I have been working a lot with the short sprints and my acceleration pattern, so I was happy today was a chance that I had in a straight line to kind of execute that, and I'm pretty happy with the result.
So Shana Cox taking victory, 23.28 seconds the time. Stacey-Ann Smith fought hard through that 200-metre race, 23.85 for second. Ohuruogu in third, and Christine Day, the Jamaican 4x4 bronze medalist, unable to finish the race.
So this is the climax of the City of Manchester Games. Johan Blake, the tremendously talented Jamaican, will be starting in lane 2. Youngest ever world champion in Daegu in 2011. How fast will Johan Blake go here? Blake looks as though he's got out of the blocks well. Also a terrific start on the near side from Chris Brown, but now look at Blake starting to get into his stride, starting to put a little distance between himself and the rest, although Bailey Cole starting to improve to get second place, but a winning time in 14.71 seconds for the Jamaican Johan Blake. Usain Bolt's world best from 5 years ago still stands, but here today Johan Blake was a long way clear of the rest, and in all honesty looked as though he would never be headed. The celebrations are Jamaican.
Well, Johan Blake taking the applause of the crowd here on Deansgate, an absolute throng of fans. Chris Brown, the diminutive athlete from the Bahamas, got away very well indeed, but Johan Blake never panicked and got into his stride. Remember, he's the second quickest 200-metre runner of all time with that 19.26 from Brussels. And he says he's a better runner on the straight than he is on the curve. Straight down the streets of Manchester here, never headed. Once he got into his running, Kamar Bailey Cole threatened to come back just to erode Blake's lead, but he held his form, and look at the relaxation from that head-on shot. Just a furtive glance to his right and at the clock, and that's when he realized Bolt's record not threatened, but he takes first place.
An emphatic victory Rounding off the day's athletics action, Johan Blake winning by nearly 0.3 of a second and looking mighty impressive.
It was a good race, finished injury-free. Give God thanks and my management staff. You know, I didn't warm up properly, my legs wasn't firing, but to give God thanks, I come out injury-free.
So Johan Blake just misses out on Usain Bolt's world best in the 150 metres, but a great day's athletics nonetheless on the streets of Manchester. Next up for us, a weekend in the northeast of England in September, the BT Great North City Games, followed by the Bupa Great North Run. Don't forget to keep up to date on our website, greatrun.org. But for now, it's goodbye from Manchester.